And you want to host? Same story. We're going to settle some things here today, and Kylene Filimawa gets us underway. Ariana Rodriguez wastes no time bumping Flor Marie Heredia Colon at the pin, number 12 in black.
And that first set, she pops it straight down the line at Florida State's defense.
So Flor Marie Heredia Colon, 42 kills on Wednesday, and lands the opening blow here on Saturday. That'll send Dahlia Wilson back to serve. Henke on the 4-4 action responds with a kill of her own.
Henke likes that shot. When she's in left front, that's zone 4, she likes to hit to the other left front. So we call it a 4-4.
So each of the veteran pins asserting themselves in the first 2 points. If that's the tone we're going to set, buckle up. We're going to have some fun here in Tallahassee today. Yamamoto serves. Heredia Colon tight to the net. Wiley turned back off 1 foot. Now once again to Heredia Colon, and that was 4-4 and straight down.
And Florida State looks like they might try and serve her and take her out of her offense just a little bit. They tried that Wednesday. They may just try and overload her again today.
Yeah, occupy her on passing, occupy her on defense. It's not a bad idea. It just didn't really work on Wednesday, and that's a tip of the cap to Flor Marie. Henke, 2 for Henke, 2 for Heredia Colon.
Just able to get it by that Miami block and in the seam of the defensive players.
Good start for both sides. Henke, who averages 4.5 kills per set, 3rd best in the ACC behind, yes, Heredia Colon and Olivia Babcock of Pitt. Nellie Stevenson back to serve. Florida State will go 6-2. Setter always in the back row. Miami will go 5-1, but has experimented with the 6-2 look of late. Henke, kill number 3.
And that time Miami had Heredia Colon over here on the right side, and she couldn't quite get her block hands over the net to control Henke.
What a start for Jane Henke. 3 kills on 3 swings. We'll send Nellie Stevenson back to serve once more. 7 of her 13 aces have come over the last 3 weeks. Heredia Colon this time on the right side in that rotation before she heads back to serve. Never matter, left side, right side, even back row, she can score it anyway.
And again, Florida State served her, but as you can see, she's a good enough passer. She concentrates on her pass first, then makes a great approach in with a big swing down the line.
In addition to being one of the kill leaders in the ACC, in fact, she is the kill leader in the ACC, she's one of the best servers as well. Knowles are out of system. Henke attacks from the back row. Vergara will want a touch call. She won't get it. Point to the Knowles, and the first error for either side.
That set just was a little bit off the net. She couldn't quite bring it down in with a wrist snap.
Jasmine Vergara, the graduate student who transferred from Tennessee State, with the errant swing number 17 in black. Henke now will serve herself. Wiley turned back by the block. There's Amina Njai, the freshman L2 for the Canes. And Kylene Filimawa, who has the same role for Florida State, goes cross. Good cover by Yamamoto. And Rodriguez is going to run the bick. Nice take by Stevenson. Knowles are out of system, though. Whalen down the line off the right.
Well, I think the fans can see how many times they're going to try and get the ball to Heredia Colon. That time the set was coming from behind her in a tough swing to try and get that over the net. But they find her when they're in trouble.
Delaney Ewing there ready to block it if she needed to. That one into the net, though. Pretty good first ball. Njai passed up by Henke. Filimawa.
That's just a great swing. She's got a really fast arm, and she's going to hit this back toward the corner. She gets a nice play off the blocker's hands, and defense can't quit do it.
Florida State has won each of the last 3 points. Kylene Filimawa off 20 kills against the Canes, has her first today. Nearly got a block. That's still up, though. Ewing puts it down.
And I think that's the first set we've seen out of the middle. Both teams are really trying to feel each other out. They've got to have a good pass, something that the setter can get to the middle.
Florida State, 5 kills on 9 swings. A couple of errors now for Miami. They're hitting closer to 100. Good service run here for Henke. And Heredia Cologne wants to put an end to.
Back to that challenge. Maybe he thought about it during the timeout and is seeing if there was a touch on that block. So this is the first of two challenges that Miami would get. If they win the challenge, they get to keep it.
Yeah, as insistent as everybody on the floor was for Miami, I thought Coach Gondera might think about challenging. At first, he did signal timeout. Then there was a couple of words between him and Joya Teeter, who's at the monitor. And then that's where everybody kind of got confused as to where we were going with this thing because, again, the initial signal was timeout.
Well, and usually you'll see a challenge right away, but and maybe he said, let me think about it, and he came back out of that timeout looking for a touch on the block.
So, again, as our crew has pointed out, the initial ruling is no touch. This is what we're looking at.
We're looking to see if Philomao's maybe right little finger moved. And
Indeed it does.
It did.
That's a good challenge by Coach Gondera. A much-needed point for Miami. It puts an end to a service rotation they were having a hard time siding out of, and it's a two-point swing. They go from trailing by 5 to 3, and you get your challenge back.
And he trusted his players that they really saw that touch.
So Neilani Feliciano steps in, and Kylene Filimawa goes right to work off the block and out.
And she's up against 6'2" Vergara, but she's able to get off of her hands. And again, we'll see Filimawa use the blocker's hands all day long.
Couple of kills now for Kylene, who leads the team with over 300 kills this season. Really stepped her game up when Yanni Henke missed 5 matches of ACC play. And has not let her foot off the pedal since. Kaylin Russ serves, and Dahlia Wilson puts that ball away. You mentioned that we haven't seen the middle set a lot. Florida State's done it once. Now so too has Miami.
And that's just a nice little shoot set. It really attacks right in between the two blockers. You can see no one's up to get her. Perfect set.
Listen, Jasmine Vergara back to serve. A 6 rotation opposite for the Canes. Filimawa pops it over the top. Off the bick. There is Flor Marie Heredia Cologne.
And that bick is a back set. It's almost like a back one. The height of the set is just about the antenna height. It's not very high at all. So she's on her way in and up in the air, snapping it before anybody's able to get in position.
So Miami's offense is starting to click. Florida State does well to cover off the block. Opportunity, though, for Njai. Filimawa out of system. Back row again. And Flor Marie Heredia Cologne scores it once again.
And that time the setter, Rodriguez, number 6, really led her well. She set it inside that attack line that's about 3 meters back from the net. And Heredia Cologne took off behind it and landed close to the net, but what a brilliant move.
6 kills. Miami has 7 points. Misconnection, and we are tied at 8. The Canes have won each of the last 4.
So the setter's either signaling or telling the middle where she's going to go. Just a little confusion whether she's going to go in front or behind her.
Vergara serves again. Filimawa is able to side out for Florida State.
And we're going to continue to see that hit. If she feels like there's a good solid block in front of her, she's going to use those outside hands.
Florida State again going 6-2. They'll double sub. New setter in the back row, new opposite in the front. Johanna Sova, number 15, who got the starting assignment. She's listed as a middle blocker, but in this matchup, trying to fortify that FSU block on the right-hand side when you got Flor Marie Heredia Cologne on the left. Service error there by Lily Nicholson. And that'll send Njai back to serve. Philly Maua. Boy, Florida State's outsides have both been brilliant out of the gates.
Well, I thought Miami really positioned themselves well, but Philly Maua really can see around the block. She sees exactly what's open, and we've seen her hit that shot before. It goes right in between the two defenders in the back row.
4 kills for Kylene. And an error by Fleur Marie Heredia Cologne.
And we'll assume she was trying to hit high off their hands, but missed him. It landed up into the bleachers, I think. But trust me, she'll come back with another one right here.
Lead to 2 for Florida State. Out of system. So a couple of errors in a row for Heredia Cologne. Florida State got their hands down in time, no touch.
If they think that's what she's going to do, they can pull them down.
Boy, what a tough serve that was. Low and flat by Philly Maua. Nice stab as well. Sova off the right-hand side, snapped her wrist and put the ball down for the Noles.
And at 6'5", they're going to have to really work around here. Let's keep an eye on Rodriguez. Yeah, just a tough way to seal the block. Rodriguez is a lefty setter, so I'm watching for her to hit the ball over soon.
Nice tight set to Dahlia Wilson off 1 foot, tipped it over the top, and Miami sides out. Nice job there on serve received by Yamamoto. And Henke rolls it to the back corner.
Another shot off of the Miami blocker's hands down the line. So all the hitters are taking a look at that court as they make their approach in, and they know what shot is open in the back row.
4th kill for Yane Henke. And a service error by Yamamoto.
Florida State's going to have to be careful giving those easy points away.
That'll send Ariana Rodriguez back to serve. Boy, that jump top is so impressive. And so is that swing by Kylene Philly Maua. Vergara runs out of room. It's another kill for Kylene.
Florida State's offense is hitting around 529 right now compared to Miami's 125.
It has just been a barrage of firepower by the Seminoles straight out of the gates. 9 combined kills for Philly Maua and Henke to lead the charge. Ewing 1 kill on 1 swing herself. Vergara off the left side this time in this rotation. Henke. Good stab there by Rodriguez. Out of system to Vergara. Tipped back by Peyton Whalen.
Miami just got that broken play a little bit too close to the net. It's really tough to hit around when you get that block. They just trap you at the net, and there's just no place to go. See, defense is there to cover, but they just can't get it dug up.
Coach Gondara is going to swap out his opposite. It's going to be the freshman Media Mushkadiani out of Georgia. Number 7. Heredia Cologne is roofed.
And she was set a little bit too tight, and she tried to go cross court. Her best shot would have been to swing off that hand, but she tries to go cross court. I think the ball was a little too far outside the antenna for her to get it in where she wanted to.
6 kills, but 5 errors for Heredia Cologne. They'll go right back to her. They'll do it again. Miami wants a touch, and they want their head coach to challenge.
So it looks like he's asking for a challenge. They've never, necessarily what the officials are looking at to review it.
Yeah, what's on the video board compared to what's on the monitor, every coach has to regard as unofficial. So they can point up there all they want. It really doesn't matter. Heredia Cologne denied by the tape.
Florida State really seems to have Miami rattled just a little bit at this point. But we know Miami's good enough that they're going to rear back here and get it back on track.
Well, there's that drop serve. I mentioned the flurry of aces of late for Nellie Stevenson. It's been off of that serve, which is relatively new based on what we've seen her doing all season. This time it pulls Miami so far out of system, they set a ball into the antenna.
And it's really a great strategy that's working for them. And at this point, Miami has more errors than kills. Eight kills and 10 errors for the team.
So the Canes are hitting negative. That was an aggressive serve. If you can call a drop just over the net aggressive, she was looking for the sideline, nearly caught it.
It is aggressive. It's very tough to pass that straight up. I mean, it's not the same angle you're used to passing the serve.
And just like that, Florida State is in the red zone. And you counter that floater with the jump top of Heredia Cologne. Mushkadiani is roofed.
And that is a tough shot to hit as a right-hander. That ball's got to cross over in front of her body. It needs to be in front of her right shoulder when she goes to hit it. She can't see the blockers necessarily. She's looking backwards, and now she just gets trap set.
So Florida State has won 6 of the last 7 points. They have 4 blocks as a team in this opening set. They're hitting .526. All systems go for the Garnet and Gold. And an out-of-system ball for Njai from her fellow pin, Heredia Cologne. Knowles will be out of system as well. Njai takes a step in, good cover. Stevenson to Philly Maua. No touch by the Canes, and that is the first attack error by either of Florida State's outsides in this first set.
And that's pretty impressive. I think they've got 10 kills and 1 error for Florida State.
That'll play as Neilani Feliciano heads back to serve. It's a service error.
And just the unforced errors right now are really costing Miami any kind of momentum.
Both of these teams play in, let's just call them cozy confines. And you can hear the sound just reverberating around Tully Gym.
It's really about the same size facility that Miami has. It's not a huge arena.
And the Knight Sports Complex was rocking on Wednesday, too. Florida State is 2 points away from the first set. Russ serves. Dahlia Wilson got it in between 2 blockers. Ken Ogondara thinks there were 4 touches by Florida State. We play on. Njai dug by Russ. Philly Maua sharp on the cross. It'll be a point for Miami.
Coach Gondara really thought that I think the ball hit the floor on Florida State's side, but he's not going to take another challenge at this point.
Miami ended up getting awarded the point off of an attack error by Kylene Philly Maua. Vergara will check back in for Mushkadiani. She will serve. The Knowles still 2 points away from the set as the senior from Buenaventura, Colombia, serves it in. Off a back one, there's the new Capilla.
And that's that combination they were looking for a little bit earlier in this set. Really very smooth transition around behind the setter, and the setter was able to find her hand.
10-point lead for Florida State. That escalated quickly. They have raced to 2 handfuls of set points. Nicholson will serve. Wilson will extend the proceedings. And Njai will head back for her service.
Miami's going to have to play error-free to get through this set if they're going to win it.
And so far, they have been more error-prone. Philly Maua, that is roof. Good start for the Canes. Consecutive points won for Miami, but it's still set point for Florida State. Strong serve. Philly Maua way off the net. Chris Poole might want to think about a timeout.
And Sean thinks he's ready to be a coach. Here we go. Nice call, Sean. Yeah, no reason not to call a timeout. He's got 2 timeouts, and just give Miami a little time to think about it. Let his group re-gear. Think about what they need to do to get this last point.
Canes have won each of the last 3 points. And Miami, just thinking about the Canes, if they can get things going, it's going to have to be off of their serve. And I think we're starting to see a snapshot of it. They are the best statistical serving team, not just in the ACC, but one of the top 5 in the country. And that is going to be a critical ingredient if they're going to pull Florida State out of their offense.
And that's how you set up your defenses, with an aggressive serve, smart serve to the right person or the right seam. Serve him short, serve him deep. Lots of different things you can do with that serve.
As we take a look at how we've gotten to this point so far, Florida State with 11 kills. Miami has 9, but there have been 12 attack errors by the Canes. Florida State now has a couple in a row, which has brought their hit percentage down to .269 as well. That still beats a negative. 14 digs for the Noles to 10 digs for Miami. And then Florida State really at the net has been outstanding.
And as tough as this looks for Miami right now, rest assured that Chris Poole is not relaxing over there at all, and neither is the team. They know that Miami will step it up here.
One good pass. One good pass if you're Florida State. And you've got a couple of dynamic pins that you can set to, or if you want to change things up with a 7-point lead, you've got Nanu Kapia, who you just connected with on a back 1 as well.
And all Florida State's attackers are over there on that left side of the court.
And sometimes the timeout itself is good enough to get you the side out. It's a service error, and the Noles take set 1 for the 2nd time this week. Back underway here in Florida's capital city for set number 2. Sonia Danilovic subs in for Miami to start us off. And the Canes take the opening point.
I believe that was the first set we saw at the beginning of that first game. A nice set to her straight down the line at the defense.
So Danilovic will serve once more, the freshman out of Belgrade, Serbia, who has played on various international teams in her home country. And Florida State sides out immediately with Henke.
And that was a good shot from the back row. She just rolled it over in front of the defense.
1-all, set 2 here at Lucy McDaniel Court at Tully Gym. Kylene Philly Maua rotates back to serve. Henke will now move to the front row herself. And that's a service error by Kylene Philly Maua. No aces for either side so far. That'll be the 4th service error for Florida State. A couple of service errors by Miami.
And those are the mistakes you've got to keep at bay.
Talia Wilson goes back to serve. Henke had it dug over the net. Nice reflexes by Nicholson, taking it on first contact. Noles are out of system, though. There's a joust. Philly Maua plays it up, over, and there to put it away is Ariana Rodriguez. And it's worth mentioning, because Miami goes 5-1, your setter can go up there when they're front row.
And she's left-handed on top of that, so, she can hit the second ball with that left speedy arm, and it's just tough to block her.
So
I think she'll get even more active in the match.
Ariana Rodriguez on the board with her first kill. Nice work there by Yamamoto getting that ball up. Florida State, though, has to pop it over. Heredia Colon shoves it into the net. Point Florida State.
She's got that 6'5" blocker in front of her. It's just a little bit tough. Not sure that she's used to hitting against that. See Sova right in front of her. Kapia really closing up that block.
4 blocks for Florida State. They didn't catch a piece of that ball, so they won't be credited for 5 on that occasion. And there's Logan Wiley off 1 foot.
And we haven't seen too many slides, but with Miami in the 5-1, they can run it a lot more than Florida State will.
And honestly, too, Coach, in the 5-1, that slide's going to be a necessity. Rodriguez serves. It's a service error. That jump top can be so dynamic if you can locate it. To her credit, she's done it a lot this year leading the ACC in aces, but it's also high risk, high reward, and sometimes you come out on the wrong end.
Yeah, it's a tough one. You're back behind the end line and you toss it up like you're going to be spiking it from behind the end line.
Stevenson serves. That is just long, so we saw her just barely dropping it over the net in the first set. This time floats it deeper, in fact, too deep, and Miami has a 2-point lead.
And of course, every coach talks about how important serving and passing is.
Heredia Colon serves. Henke. Florida State wants a touch. They won't get it. It'll be a point for Miami. Is just 1 here in set number 2.
And so Florida State still has 2 challenges. Miami only has 1 left.
So off her most recent kill, Henke goes back to serve. Njai turned back by the block. Good, strong block touch by FSU. And talk about threading the block. Whoa, what a swing by Heredia Colon.
And contacts it at a really high level. She's got a great jump, nice reach. The trajectory was really down in front of the defense.
Kill number 8 for Flor Marie. Ewing out of the middle. Authoritative.
And that was, an excellent middle attack. And again, that opens up the outsides for Florida State.
So Florida State sides out, gets within 1. Kaylin Russ will go back to serve. Sophomore from Winter Garden, Florida. Rodriguez sets Wilson out of the middle. Henke will not get a touch call this time. Point to Miami. We've been talking about Ariana Rodriguez and Flor Marie Heredia Colon a lot, and with more on both of them, here's Ansley.
Thanks, Sean. Well, their connection goes way beyond Miami volleyball. Ariana told me she doesn't even remember when they met, but they felt like sisters from the beginning. Volleyball brought them together both here at Miami and in the Dominican Republic, and she said their chemistry is one of a kind. They always find each other through the good and the bad.
Thank you very much, Ansley, and they have found each other often here this season, leading Miami to a ranking of 14th in the country, some marquee wins. Somebody's got to play that ball, though, and Florida State will take it.
Little bit of a bizarre rally there to go over, and Miami just doesn't even react to it. Just going to be a major save, accidentally sending it over the net, and Miami doesn't see that.
So
back on those Dominican Republic players, Dominican Republic is so good as a country, part of NORCECA and our confederation, and really outstanding volleyball in that area.
So those two, who, as Ansley mentioned, have ties to the Dominican Republic. Flor Marie Heredia Colon has represented her homeland internationally. Ariana Rodriguez has on the very highest of stages, most recently in Paris in 2024. But goodness, what Ken Ogandara is building around these two, who have such high-level experience together, might I add, is incredible.
think in that shot right there, you can see the Olympic rings on her forearm, tattooed it looked like.
Philly Mawa. Philly Mawa will try again, dug up by Feliciano. Heredia Cologne turned back by the block. Again, still up and down.
And there's the reason Joanna Sova is out there. 6'5", shuts this one down, straight down.
How tough are you? Wow. 5 blocks for Florida State as a team. That one got everybody on their feet. Wilson into the cross court, dug by Nicholson. Ariana Rodriguez.
That's what I was waiting for. You know, sometimes as a setter, you just got to take it in your own hands, and that was the perfect pass up there for her to do that. And Florida State has got to be aware of her skills. Great play on her part.
Second kill of the match on 4 attempts for Ariana, who has recorded as many as 7 this season, 12 in her career. Henke. Point to Florida State off the touch. Airtight here in this second set. Miami has found their footing offensively, hitting at 286. Florida State hitting at 286 in this set as well. 1 point Yamamoto serves. Wiley knocked back. And Florida State continues to flex and feast at the net.
I believe that was off Ewing's head. I don't even know if she knew she blocked it, but her head got it over.
Well, you're always encouraged to use your head.
Any
she
part
did.
any part of your body counts.
Dug over. Sova turned back by the block. Henke popped back by the block. Henke into the net. Point Canes. That'll put an end to Mio Yamamoto's service run, but what a pickup she's been for the Noles. And with more, here's Ansley once again.
Thanks, Sean. Well, she is an unsung hero for Florida State. She's only been here a year, but she is becoming an anchor defensively. The fans love her, her teammates respect her, and Coach Poole told me, unfortunately, we only have her 1 year, but we just need to be grateful we have her. Sean?
And they certainly are grateful they have her. Sunbelt Libero of the Year a couple of years ago, averaged 5 digs a set last season, and somehow didn't win the award. And Kylene Philly Mawa just dropped the hammer from the back row.
And they have really got Miami on their heels right now. Just really uncharacteristic of not being able to get any blocks on Florida State. Philly Mawa just takes a rip at it.
And it all started with that first touch by Yamamoto. Wiley, how about the angle there? Found the sideline.
And it's good they take a little bit of time away from Heredia Cologne just to give the ball to somebody else and see if they can score.
They've already set Heredia Cologne 24 times as we approach the midway point of set 2. She's still currently hitting in the negative. Good serve there. Tight above the net, and Florida State couldn't dig it up.
Just an easy point for Miami to be up at the net, sealed and ready to pass that ball over.
Timeout, Chris Poole.
Men are always highly skilled, polished, mature, and really add to a college team.
And there's that jump top. Flo Marie Heredia Cologne drops in the first ace of the match for Miami, and that thing was beautiful.
She's just going to take it in her right hand, give it a big spin, toss it up in the air, and make that spike approach.
Hasn't been the day she's wanted offensively. That is tight to the net. Nice job by Stevenson giving Henke some room. And that's a misconnection by the Canes. Good presence at the net by the Noles.
Back row attacker. The pass was a little too tight to the net. Miami couldn't control it.
Lead back down to 2. It's been as large as 3 for Miami. Whoa. What a swing that was. I've said blown up the block a couple of times. That was literally blowing up the block and the ceiling.
Was Ewing again that it went off of her head. Yeah, up in the ceiling. And when it hits the ceiling and it goes out of play and goes over, I don't know if that's her shoulder or her head, but quite a hit. If it hits the ceiling and goes over, it's out of play.
At a system ball. Oh, what a good decision there by Kylene Philly Maua. Took the sideline because it was open.
Really deceptive. It looked like it would be a hard hit, but she just dropped it inside that defensive player.
So Florida State gets back to within 2. Danilovic passes it on first contact. Wilson out of the middle. Stevenson calls off Ewing. Off the right side in that rotation, there is Amina Njai with her first kill on 10 swings.
She was able to draw up Florida State's middle blocker and just almost left her one-on-one. If you can get the middle blocker faked out with you, it really opens everything else up.
This is a Miami team that is playing without Ava Carney, who had been their L2 up until the first week of conference play. Njai has been the one who settled into that position here of late. And Flor Marie Heredia Colon just continues to shred here this afternoon. That is kill number 10, leading everybody on the floor.
And defense pursued that ball. They got to the stands, but if you're going to make a play on it, you have to keep 1 foot into the ground on the floor. You cannot dive into the stands and save anything.
How about this response by Miami in set number 2?
It's not a surprise. I think it's going to be a long afternoon with both teams trying to figure it out.
Canes hitting at 364 in this set. They've turned up the service pressure as well. Wilson got a hand on it. That is still up off the dump attempt by Stevenson. Whalen turned back by the block. Everything's going the Canes' way at the midway point of set number 2.
Just a few broken plays. Both teams are able to keep the ball up in play, but this is a good seal. You see those 4 hands over the net, directing the ball down.
Timeout, Chris Poole. That'll be the second timeout by Florida State. He's also used and was successful in using a challenge earlier in this set. But a decided shift in momentum here in Tallahassee.
He's really talking to him about what they could do, and his favorite skill to coach is blocking. I promise every time out we see him do these blocking arm movements. I just love it. You can tell what somebody's really passionate about. Getting in front of their shoulder. He's giving the blocking lecture over there.
And so far, for the most part, it's been a good day for Florida State on the block with 6 to Miami's 2. Miami's dug 1 more ball than Florida State has. FSU's operated a little bit cleaner in general. But Miami does have a couple more kills than the Noles. They also have the edge in the ace department, 1-0. So the Canes, who have been flashy and fantastic all season, they've brought plenty of that flash here to Tallahassee. They haven't been as clean as they've needed to be, especially in set 1, but they have tightened the screws here in the second set for sure.
And they're mature enough and they're good enough that they can just stay steady and know that, you know, it's going to be a long play, and all they need to worry about is the next point.
In Coral Gables on Wednesday, Florida State won set 1, Miami won sets 2 and 3 before the Noles won set 4, and Miami found a way in the 5th.
There's Rodriguez looking across the net there. Just Florida State needs to be reminded that she's front row and could be an attacker on that second ball.
Couple of kills for Rodriguez in addition to 16 assists and 5 digs. Njai will serve. Off the back one, Kapia is dug. And an opportunity for Florida State here. Philly Maua. Strong block there by Miami. Stevenson scrambles to cover, and Florida State this time wins the broken play.
I think Philly Mao is so good at changing things up. It doesn't have to be a hard hit all the time, but just dropping it in, off the block, down the line. She can do it all.
So the Noles get back within 4. Lily Nicholson will sub in here for the Noles. She will serve. The TCU transfer ran a 5-1 with the Horned Frogs. Had the pleasure of setting Melanie Parra for a couple of years. Danilovic, oh, good vision of the court.
And sometimes I think players are reminded that I don't have to hit it that hard. So big hole in the middle of Florida State's defense. Just didn't react enough to see that arm swing slow down.
Danilovic, the third different player who has checked in at the opposite for Miami. We've seen a little of Vergara, Mushkadiani, and now Danilovic. And she's been solid here in this second set. Jane Henke continues to operate with efficiency. That is kill number 8, just 2 attack errors for the German.
And at 6'3", she can really get up in the air. She's got to take off behind that 3-meter line. You can see she lands in front of it, but what a rip.
8 kills, 333 the hit percentage. Sova, just a brick wall over there for Florida State. Off the D-ball look, Sova has to dig it out of the net.
I think they called 2 contacts. I think the first referee is going to talk to her second referee and see if she saw the same thing. I believe they think that the player contacted it twice. So that's one of the situations. It's illegal to contact it twice if it was an attack and then you contacted it again. I think that's what the discussion is, whether it was a block or an attack. So it comes down, and let's see what she does here. So it's an attack. It's not really a block. But it's not anything that's challengeable.
So Chris Poole has offered an explanation that, frankly, I'm not very sure he's thrilled about regardless. And we will play on. 5-point lead for Miami. Flor Marie Heredia Colon.
Well, she's got 6'5" Sova across there, but it gives her even more space to hit off the top of those hands.
11 kills in the match for Flor Marie. Finally now hitting in the positive again for the match as Dahlia Wilson drops it over. Everything's going Miami's way. Wiley with the stuff block.
It's a good, solid 4 hands up there just to get at the right time. Rodriguez, she's only 5'10", but she's an excellent blocker on that right side.
Second block of the set for Miami. They're on a 3-0 scoring run. Capilla off 1 foot. Flor Marie Heredia Colon just cut it right inside the block and down.
That was just a finesse shot, and the look she gave him afterwards was pretty funny. She just rolled it inside, just about within 2 feet of the net. Impossible to get. This is just all finesse.
Misconnection. Kylene Philly Maua had to hesitate. Hits it into the top of the tape. And as decisive as Florida State won set one, it's beginning to appear that it's going to be the same story for Miami in this second set. Dahlia Wilson on a heck of a service run. It's a service error to put an end to it. But winning 4 points on your serve as a middle, yeah, that's pretty darn good.
That is impressive. Just get the ball in play over there and let the opposing team try and make a mistake.
That'll send Mio Yamamoto in for Florida State. Picked up by Flor Marie Heredia Colon. Might have caught a hand. Yes, she did.
Good call by the line judges and the referees.
And that is what her head coach, Ken Ogondara, says. She is starting to really enjoy the pressure, starting to enjoy when teams try to occupy her on defense and pull her out of the offense. It just makes her better. 13 kills on 30 swings, I'd say so. Henke looking for the sideline. That is wide, and Miami wastes no time in knotting this matchup. 1-2 sets. We'll play this third and decide who's going to have a 2-1 lead. Canes and Knowles on the backside of the intermission, and Flor Marie Heredia Colon with the opening salvo.
Just pops it through those blockers' hands, and it delays it. It drops down in front of Florida State's defense.
14 kills for Flor Marie Heredia. Dahlia Wilson will serve. Henke. This is just like we started in the first set. It was Heredia Colon, Henke, Heredia Colon, Henke, right back and forth, trading kills at the pin.
And even though you know that's going to happen as a coach or on the other team, you just can't stop them.
So Yane Henke approaching double figures. Mio Yamamoto will serve. Heredia Colon just shoves it down the line. Nicholson was there, but dug it into the stands.
Yeah, just a tough play defensively. She really, I thought, accelerated to try and get to that ball, but rebounded into the stands.
It'll be Ariana Rodriguez to serve. 3 attackers in the front row for the Canes. Ewing got it inside the block and down.
She's been having a good game. I think she's been a couple of blocks off of her face, but then here is a nice little shoot set. Miami's got 2 blockers up with her, but they just can't keep their hands over the net.
3 kills on 3 swings, 4 blocks as well for Delaney Ewing. Miami goes to the middle and Logan Wiley. Heredia Colon splits the seam between Ewing and Henke.
And a fascinating play for her defensively. She comes over under the block, passes it up, and then comes all the way back to the right side to make that swing.
All over the floor, Heredia Colon, who now she herself will serve. Already has 1 ace. Ewing just tips it over for the Knowles. Danilovic off the right. She made a positive impact for Miami in set 2, checking in off the bench. And Yane Henke has made a positive impact for FSU all season.
And that set falls a little bit shorter inside, and she's able to just keep going in that direction and blast it off their hands into the stands again.
3-all in set 3. Boy, Njai, that was an athletic play by Amina Njai, running out of room. That ball racing toward the antenna to muscle it inside.
And I don't know how she got that over without being in the net, but the second referee kept her eye on her for sure.
Philly Maua. Positive block touch by the Canes. Another one scrubbing speed off. And off the edge of the block and out. There's Heredia Colon.
And Florida State has 2 blockers inside there with her, but it's such a short set to the back row. You know, you really don't have to set it high. It's supposed to be a surprise attack out of the back row, and you can see it's just very low.
Feliciano serves. Philly Maua finds the end line, just painted that white line.
That's what I was going to say. She painted it, and it was a very excellent hit.
9 kills for Kylene.
You'll see she's just got a good swing. Defense right in front of her.
Good offense by Miami. Dahlia Wilson out of the middle.
And that's how you draw this up. Good pass. Her setter Rodriguez is able to get it to her.
Dahlia hitting at a career best 340 this season. Transfer from Kansas State. Njai, just a freshman, serves. Florida State runs the back row with Henke.
And you know, it's almost easier to get a kill from the back row because you've got so much room to hit around that block. Sometimes when the ball's set tight at the net, you get stuff blocked before you get a chance to swing at it.
11th kill of the match for Jane Henke, who's hitting at 280. Nicholson will serve. Oh, nearly a misconnection. Dahlia Wilson just rolls it over her back. Philly Maua misses the end line. Point to Miami.
Yeah, trying for that corner down the line again and just swiped it a little bit too far to the left.
Danilovic will serve. Nice pickup by Feliciano. We're still playing. Philly Maua. Boy, Miami is flying all over the floor. Flor Marie Heredia Colon puts it down.
Really scrambling defense. Nice job just to keep it in play and always giving her something good to swing at. And she was ready for it. Somebody steps in, a good set from Rodriguez, and she's right there.
Credit the youngster Olivia Durst with the pickup. Florida State needs a response at 3. It's Miami as a team hitting 778 on the road. That'll help the cause if you're Florida State. Kylene Philly Maua.
She's so present at the net. She always knows what's open, if there's blocker hands up there to hit it or if there's an open court.
Off kill number 10 for Kylene. She will head back to serve. Henke at the net. Nice pancake by Rodriguez. We play on. Florida State runs the bick with Philly Maua. No touch by the Canes. Got their hands down in time. It's another attack error.
And they know to get 2 blockers in front of Philly Maua when she's in the back row.
15 attack errors for Miami, 14 for Florida State, 3 of which coming in this set. The Canes 7 of 10 as a team. There's an ace serve as well.
And that's a tough serve, and Florida State needs to step on that line and make sure it's going out. Sometimes we just look over there and think we know it's going to go out, and it possibly floats back in.
Dahlia Wilson, who already has over 20 aces this season, records another. Capilla turned back by the block. Henke keeps it up. Rodriguez elevates and detonates.
And what a great job of concentrating on the play. Again, the ball just was slipping over a broken play, and Rodriguez is right there ready to pound it. Just a easy play, and unfortunately they set it up to the Miami hitter.
3rd kill for Rodriguez. And a stuff block for Heredia Colon and Wiley.
And I think Miami's starting to get the crowd to quiet down just a little bit.
They've won each of the last 4 points, mind you, after a Florida State timeout and immediate side out. It's been all Miami anyway. What an athletic set by Rodriguez, going all the way to the pin for Colon. And that's an antenna. Heredia Colon, as good as she's been here, especially of late, that is an attack error into the antenna.
And obviously this ball was set a little bit too far outside.
Noles will take it. They get the side out. They get off that rotation. Yamamoto will try to apply some service pressure. Cologne nails on the pass. Florida State turns it back off the block. Rodriguez able to tool the block for the kill.
And she was, as the setter, she backed off and let somebody else take that set. And then they gave her the ball. And they're talking about whether the ball was out. So the ball was out. It should go to Miami.
What's interesting is the scoreboard in here says point Florida State. It gave them a point, but now it looks like we are going to reverse it. I thought that, yeah, that was clearly out. So that's what caught the entire Miami bench's attention.
That does happen when a point shows up for the other team.
Exactly. 7-point lead for the Canes.
It's not like every fan in here isn't watching it and they're not going to say a word.
Nice pass by Yamamoto. Man, Miami is just making the scramble plays. Sova off the right. Heredia Cologne kept alive by Henke. And Janne Henke in transition puts the ball away.
Just took a little bit of speed off of that. Threw Rodriguez off for just a little bit. I think she was expecting it to come harder. Miami looks totally relaxed and picking up a lot of balls just with one hand and controlling it.
Lead at 6 for the Canes as Stevenson serves. Wiley has to tip out of the middle. Yamamoto out of system sets Henke, and Philly Maua ends up with it in her lap.
Those are the kind of plays you want the ball set about 5 feet off the net. Any tighter than that, you are just trapped, and there's really no place for Henke to go. Excellent block by Miami.
Third block of the match for Logan Wiley. And a service error.
I think both teams now have 5 service errors, so neither team has jumped ahead in that category.
2 aces for Miami. Florida State still looking for their first. Almost got it there. Njai with the Canes out of system. Airs long, no touch by the Noles.
It's tough to hit from that right side. Again, the ball's got to cross over in front of your body, and you can't actually see the court when you're getting ready to hit.
Heredia Cologne just pops it over. Philly Maua does anything but. I said pop, she's got plenty of it. She'll be at Virginia Tech. Whenever you play your travel partner, you'll play them twice in a week. You'll get them on Wednesday and Saturday in the Atlantic Coast Conference. And here we are on a Saturday in November. Will it be a November to remember for either of these teams? That will be an illegal back row attack.
Rodriguez is the setter. She's coming out of the back row. She cannot jump and contact the ball and have it go over. That's a illegal attacker.
4-0 run for the Noles. Good serve by Henke. Nice pickup by Heredia Cologne. Endai dug by Henke. Off the big Henke found the sideline.
Even with 3 Miami blockers up there trying to take away some area of the net. Cologne really gets her hand under there.
.50 run for Florida State. Danilovic turned back by the tape. It is all Noles. How about the pendulum swing in this set alone? And the crowd can sense it. Henke will serve again. Njai, no call yet, no touch. Point Florida State. We are knotted up at 15. A 7-point lead by Miami has fallen by the wayside.
And just some unforced hitting errors by Miami. They've got to put the ball on the court.
What a service run by Henke. It's not going to go down as an ace. None of them are. But it has been effective enough that she will serve for an 8th straight time.
You just never know what's going to happen in this sport. A little pass over the net becomes another point.
And that is a service error to knot things up at 16. But tip the cap to Jane Henke. Florida State sided out. Then she went back and served 8 more times. Now can Miami respond? We'll see. Philly Maua, if she has a say-so, will say no.
And that ball was set off the net again. She had to be smart and play it in. And sometimes you just play it in and you let the other team make a mistake.
17-16 Noles. Russ will serve. It's an ace serve. Kaylin Russ. 10th ace of the season for Kaylin. 6th against ACC opponents.
And Miami only has one more timeout left, so they're just changing their reception pattern a little bit.
Boy, for a team that sided out at 93% a set ago, the first contact has just fallen apart.
And that's why you always keep your foot on the gas. It can change at any second. The momentum just swings back and forth.
Oh, what a serve. Capilla!
So clearly serve reception has just really fallen off for Miami. Can't get the ball up and keep it on their side of the net.
I think Coach Gondara might be challenging a net.
Let's just keep it interesting, John.
You got it. It was a tight play at the net, and if you're Keno Gondara, you've got to do something, anything to stop the momentum. But now you've lost a challenge, and if there is a silver lining to it, you're still only trailing by 3, and you got Kaylin Russ off the service line.
Exactly.
So, you know, maybe it's a net draw on that.
Yeah, sometimes it's just a little break in the play and gets the server distracted.
It'll be Njai to serve. Florida State first to the red zone somehow in this third set. Good first contact by Henke. Philly Maua will want a touch. Point's going to go to the Canes. I think that's a good call. It looked like they got their hands down. Chris Poole's not trying to challenge either.
No, I think we'd see Philly Maua really pleading for it if she thought there was a touch.
Second serve for Njai. Boy, Henke really had to reach back on that. Heredia Cologne missed it long, and Miami thought there was a touch, but you can't challenge at this point. You lost them both.
So there's a substitution going on for Miami, just something to change things up here.
It's Olivia Durst, the freshman from Wisconsin, one of a couple of Libros today, working as a defensive specialist for the Canes. Rodriguez, that is so good.
She's just a tough setter and so smart. Again, that playing that 5-1, she's up at the front row, so she's able to dump the ball over anytime she wants to above the top of the net.
2-point set off of Rodriguez's 5th kill.
And that's pretty good for a setter.
Go along with 6 digs and 27 assists. Absolutely. Yamamoto jammed up on first contact. Philly Maua sneaks it through the block. Nice pickup by Durst. Kylie in a second opportunity. Heredia Cologne! High off the block and out.
And you could see her lining it up just to go for the outside hand on Florida State's block. You can see that.
Danilovic serves. Yamamoto got jammed up again. Nicholson goes to the back row. That was down. Point Florida State. Nice vision of the court.
And it's always amazing to me how this comes from the back row and travels all that distance, and Miami doesn't have anybody to get there.
The campfire was wide open for Yana Henke, who now rotates to the front row with Philly Maua serving. And Heredia Cologne is in, well, she's already been in double figures. Now she's got 20 kills.
I think she's learning how to hit against Nova over there, just really trying to use her hands as much as she can.
Sova, who had the better of that arrangement early with a couple of early blocks and some strong block touches. You're right, Flor Marie has gotten the better of her of late. Dahlia Wilson tried to get a hand out there into the cross court, could not do much.
And this is a big swing, sharp angle. Really just got to read that ahead of time and get in the correct position.
Florida State 2 points away from the set. The Canes 2 points from the Noles. Must win by 2. Heredia Cologne, I don't know that there was a touch there. Point Florida State, and again, the Canes do not have a challenge. So it's set point Seminoles. And that has been something that she has done a little more often here of late, both in the 5-1 when she can attack in the front, and there have been times Miami has experimented with a 6-2, bringing in Kade Leach to run the offense in the back row and letting Rodriguez work as the opposite. It is set point Seminoles trying to take a 2-1 lead at home. Yamamoto serves. Heredia Cologne off the edge of the block and down. And when everybody knows it's going to number 12 in black, for the veteran to find a way to put it away anyway says a lot.
Just that technique has got to be, those hands have got to be over the net when she goes to hit.
And Ariana Rodriguez will serve still set point for Florida State. Good pass by Yamamoto. Heredia Cologne off the block. Henke still up. Sova. Heredia Cologne tips it over the top. Henke dug up by Wiley. Opportunity here for Florida State. Henke. We play on. Out of system for Heredia Cologne. Off hands and down.
And Florida State was on their knees on defense trying to get to that ball. Excellent digs by both teams.
And there is no way for Florida State to stop the momentum aside from a substitution or a challenge. They trailed by as many as 7 early, and that's when Chris Poole used his timeouts. Last set point for Florida State. All the drama, all the excitement, and the Seminoles surge in front 2-1. Gun to establish it. Can they get back to her here? We're about to find out. Set 4, here we come. Philly Maua finds the back corner, and for the first time in any set, the Seminoles strike first.
Unbelievable, but what a great shot. You know, so many people don't have that long shot to the corner, but she's got it down.
Philly Maua and Henke each had 20 kills in Coral Gables. At this moment, Henke with 15, Philly Maua now 14. Back bump by Rodriguez. Finds Heredia Cologne, who gets the kill off the touch.
Could have been going out, but I think Yamamoto thought it was coming in. But we know who's going to get the ball. Miami. Rodriguez, again, the setter, is up in the front row, left-handed. Florida State has to keep an eye on her at all times.
23 kills, 5 digs, 2 blocks for Flor Marie Heredia Cologne. Off the back one. There is Nanu Kapia.
That was a pretty sharp play around Heredia Cologne.
2-1 Florida State. Yamamoto will serve. That is out. Was looking for that back corner. Couldn't find it though. And Mio Yamamoto, who has recorded as many as 6 aces in a match, that came a couple of weeks ago against Virginia, commits the service error, 2-all. All Rodriguez does is lead the ACC in aces. She's one of the better setters too statistically. And there's a nice strong block by Logan Wiley. Wiley now with her 4th block has really been the most successful cane at the net so far.
I'm just trying to look at how both teams have done if they've gone to 5 sets. I think they're pretty equally matched on that.
Nicholson on the run, bumps Henke. Wiley will set the out of system for Njai. That's a touch. It's a late touch, and Kylene Filimawa will take it.
A little bit further back from the attack line than she would like to have been.
Just grazed Danilovic on its way out. So it's going to be a kill for Kylene Filimawa, who now has 15. Wiley out of the middle.
And that's going to be good news for Miami if they can continue to use the middle.
Wiley, the Georgia Tech transfer who was on the All-ACC freshman team a couple of seasons ago. Filimawa, excuse me, that is Henke. Got Miami all out of sorts. Ewing just got on top of it and snapped on it down. Whoa!
She's really had a good match. Again, quite a few blocks, and then this attack is just a whip of an arm here. Goes straight down.
4th kill for Delaney Ewing, 4 blocks as well, to your point. Heredia Cologne bodies the serve, got jammed up. It's dug over the net, and that finds the floor. We've seen a couple of dig kills.
That's just incredible. That free ball lands untouched in the corner. Got to know where those sidelines are the whole time you're out there.
That'll be the 3rd kill for Njai. Feliciano, nice serve. Nice job on serve received by Yamamoto, and Filimawa benefits at the pin.
And this is a great swing by Filimawa. She's got a nice swing, and you can see Miami's player, Feliciano, really takes a dive out there to try and get it, but can't bring it up.
5-all, set 4. First to 25, win by 2. If the Noles win it, they win the match. Dahlia Wilson out of the middle. That is another kill for Dahlia. 5 on 10 swings.
So it looks like the strategy's changed on both teams to really try and get back to the middle, and hopefully that'll open things up on the outsides.
Speaking of outsides, Njai serves. Out of system for Filimawa. Nice stab there by Heredia Cologne. And there's Danilovic at the pin, number 11 in black. That'll be kill number 4 for Sonia Danilovic, who didn't see the floor until the 2nd set.
She's got a nice hitting percentage.
She has played in 8 of Miami's last 10 coming in, started against Virginia, and those 4 kills equal her career high. Rodriguez went up top, and they're going to call Florida State for an illegal back row touch at the net.
Setter just can't contact the ball when they're up there if they're in the back row.
3-0 run for Miami, 8-5. And an ace for Njai.
It almost looked like that was going long to me.
And so here is an early run by Miami in the fourth set. A set they must win. 5 kills on 6 swings, a block, and an ace. Boy, Yamamoto had to lay out just to get that ball off the floor. Chris Poole's going to call a timeout.
You just don't know what happens. It's the same thing kind of happened to Miami that last set. Just all of a sudden, everything goes flat.
5-point lead for Miami. They've won each of the last 5 in a must-win fourth set.
Two, please.
Make that 3. With the Capital One Saver card, you earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment.
Are you in this one?
Get your tentacles off my 3% cash back. Perfect delivery. What's in your wallet?
Officer! Could I get your perspective as a man of the law?
You know I'm a mall cop, right?
Let's say I obtain a car for less than you think it cost.
I don't follow.
You see this Hyundai Santa Fe?
Yeah?
Guess how much I paid for it.
Enjoy the new car.
Deal so right, it almost feels wrong. The Hyundai Getaway Sales Event.
Get 0% APR for 60 months, plus 0 payments for 90 days on select Hyundai vehicles. Visit your local Hyundai dealer today.
Target's early Black Friday deals are here, and they're moving fast. Get 40% off gifts and holiday decor this weekend only. Early Black Friday deals are 3 days only and Saturday.
Back to serve, and she and her older sister Layla have seen this rivalry from both sides. Layla, who played here as recently as a season ago, had her best career match in Coral Gables when Corey Lewis went down with concussion protocol. And so now Amina, who took that picture with her older sis while she was in the Miami swag, now gets to take center stage and serve once more.
That had to be an incredible experience playing against each other.
6-point lead for the Canes. And a triple ace for Amina.
And when it's going your way, it is going your way. Really tough job. Of course, it used to be illegal to hit the net with a serve, and it's when you can get it to hit the net and roll over, that's impressive.
7-0 run for Miami. Henke went on a monster run at the service line in the third. Njai, same story. Dalio Wilson had it knocked back. Njai digs it over. Whalen into the cross court. Rodriguez tips it over the top and off the back of Capia's head.
Nice play. I thought she was going to take a swing at it, but she sees there was a little bit of a hole in the Florida State defense.
8-point lead for Miami. And another trickle ace.
There's just nothing you can do about that except to have somebody ready to try and be close to that net when it comes over. You know it's a possibility.
And just like Henke, it ends with a service error, but what a run it was for Njai. Already more than halfway to forcing a fifth set here in Tallahassee. A reminder, if we do go to a fifth, it's first to 15, win by 2. Danilovic into the antenna.
Yeah, set's a little too far outside. The ball can't ever hit the antenna. We saw that happen earlier in the match.
Lily Nicholson will serve. It's a good serve. It's an ace serve for Lily Nicholson. And here come the Noles right back.
A little bit of confusion about who should have been getting that second ball. when it goes to left front like that, the left side hitter is out and ready to hit, so no one's there to go for it. They're all waiting for the setter to go clear across the court. Sometimes you've got to have somebody else step in.
A 3-0 run by Florida State. Oh my goodness. A back set to the Bick. And Flor Marie Heredia Colon is able to side out with kill number 24.
And we haven't really seen her hit too many like that lately. But now she's back in the front row.
What a showing by number 12 in black. Capilla looking for the sideline, missed it. No touch by Miami. Point to the Canes. And they have doubled up the Noles 16-8.
Good idea of Florida State trying to get back to the middle just a little bit.
Yamamoto calls everybody off. Bumps Philly Maua, and Philly Maua records the kill off the touch.
Good swing, nice high. We've seen her do that before. Sometimes it misses the block and sometimes it doesn't, but you can see those fingers flipping back.
Wilson. Heredia Colon.
Well, that was such a good job by Rodriguez. They really thought she was going to set the middle. Up went two blockers, and then Colon was wide open. One block.
.25 kills, hitting .235. Henke. Florida State wants a touch. They won't get the call. 18-9 Miami. The Canes ran away with the second set. Off a D-ball look. Kylene Philly Maua with another kill.
Yeah, we don't usually see her hitting out a right back. Lots of times that's a little scary because you've got another right side hitter in front of you, but they worked that out as a play.
Philly Maua, the leading scorer for Florida State, now 18 kills for Kylene as Yamamoto serves. Wiley has quietly had a really, really nice match.
And I don't know how she got it by that double block by Florida State.
Four kills, 4 blocks for Logan Wiley. Has recorded up to 5 in ACC play, and that came on Wednesday against the Noles. Henke. Boy, it's been a while since Florida State's been able to put up a wall at the net and turn back Heredia Colon like that. That is what fueled Florida State in the first.
And that's what you call a wall. That is a stuff block. The harder you hit it, the harder it comes down on your side. Really excellent technique by Florida State's blockers.
6'5" and 6'3" teaming up there.
That helps.
Yeah, that really does. And Ewing and Sova. This time, inside the block and down.
Really quick reaction play.
22-11 Miami. They are into the red zone in a set they must win. Stevenson on the run, bumps to Henke, and Yane Henke finds the floor. Gotten a little bit quiet, has number 18 in white. The Noles would like to get her going again.
And it's interesting how when she takes a little bit of speed off of it, it's not a hard hit, but defense kind of freezes and doesn't know where to go.
And this is where Miami's big lead in set 3 fell by the wayside. A Henke service run. Danilovic off of Philly Maua. And the Canes clean things up at the net.
And Logan Wiley was there, just ready to pounce on it.
So plus for Miami.
That dig over the net.
Filimawa tried to cut it to the sideline, missed it. And it looks like for the second time in 4 days, we are heading for a fifth. You don't want to be presumptuous, but Miami in incredibly good position to send us there.
And then there's that. That opens the door for Florida State.
Feliciano with the service error. Kaylin Russ dropped in an ace a set ago. Flip the tape. And Danilovic just shoves it down to the floor. Point's going to go to Florida State. Miami's going to get tagged with a lift, and that's going to draw the ire of Coach Ken Ogandra.
Well, it looked like it did change direction just a little bit. In contact with it a little too long, but it's certainly, it's not anything that's challengeable, although they don't have challenges anyway. But it's it looks like a really a little bit of a throw.
That's an illegal back row touch.
Rodriguez is in the back row and can't control it, so it goes over off her hands.
Noles back within 7. Miami's led by as many as 10. Danilovic blows up the block. Miami sides out and puts an end to the 3-0 run. Danilovic with a new season and career high in her young career in Coral Gables. That is kill number 5 for Sonia. Njai serves. Whalen thought she painted the sideline. Indignant, telling her head coach that's in. And I think he's going to challenge. You can't take it with you. And if you're wrong, you're going to get it back anyway.
I think he's still got 2 left, but man, did the team give him the look like challenges. And it's really
Florida State
hard
is
to see
challenging that the ball was in.
Finally, we're challenging something else.
Exactly.
Ball in or out.
We have seen challenge after challenge on touch, no touch. Was this ball in? If it touches any part of the white, it is.
And of course, when the ball flattens out, it can make it touch the line.
Pretty quick review by Joya Teeter.
Well, we couldn't quite hear what she said because of the band.
I think that's the right call.
Overturned. So Florida State still has 2 challenges.
And again, if any part of this ball touches that white line, it's in.
But you've got to think, as hard as it's hit, it flattens out and takes up much more space than you think it would.
So Peyton Whalen rewarded for her indignant look back at Chris Poole.
They all lined up and stared at the bench.
Takes what could have been a 9-point lead, turns it into 7. Nicholson will serve. And Wilson sides out immediately. And just like that, in a match chock full of plot twists, Miami is a point away from forcing a 5th. Danilovic will serve. Filimawa jammed up, now goes to work offensively. And we will play the max here in Tallahassee. It has The Big Ten and the ACC have clearly separated themselves from everybody else. And this fifth set, it'll go quickly. Miami strikes first off the service error by Kylene Fili-Maua. They will swap sides once we reach the midway point of this set. So for now, it's Florida State staying on the left, Miami on the right. And then once somebody hits 8, it'll be Miami on the left, the Noles on the right. The Noles have won the odd sets. Miami has won the even ones. And Janne Henke knocks up this fifth, 1 point apiece.
And both teams are going to really have to try and control those unforced errors, like that missed serve, to start this off.
Yeah, 3 of these sets have been lopsided affairs. And the one that was tight, both teams went on monster runs when the other team committed a bunch of errors in a row. Nicholson digs it out. Noles out of system, go to Henke again. Heredia Cologne shoves it to Fili-Maua. Off speed, over the top of the block and down. And Florida State has the early lead, 2-1.
And Heredia Cologne tried to go all the way across the court to pick that tip up. Really, it was just kind of a slide defense. She slides over there behind the block and really almost made the play.
Yamamoto will serve. Roofed! Ewing!
And you know that feels good when you block somebody that's as talented as Heredia Cologne. And it's a matter of timing and hands in position. And I really think that was Ewing putting that one down.
Miami won the first point of this set. Florida State's won the next 3. Heredia Cologne, was there a touch? No, says our officiating crew. Worth mentioning, Florida State still has their full complement of challenges. Miami, who burned both of theirs in the second set, does get one back here in this fifth. So Ken Ogondere, if he wants to, can challenge once. Heredia Cologne just threaded that between the block and the antenna and painted the sideline with it.
That one had some sound to it.
4-2 Seminoles, the Canes side out. Ariana Rodriguez will serve. Went to the float there, did Rodriguez.
He did.
Henke recycles off the block. Noles stay off speed. Njai tips it over the top and down.
Got just a little tip scrimmage going on over there. Again, controlling the ball, putting it where they think there's going to be a hole.
And Njai thought right.
You can see the distance that they've got to get that ball in. There's a large hole behind the block.
That's out. Two-point lead for Florida State as they'll make the dub sub. Nellie Stevenson will go back to serve. The transfer from Montana State, who has played her best volleyball here of late. Flo Marie Heredia Cologne, was there a touch? No. And that's been a couple of errors for her here in this fifth set.
Yeah, she's asking for the ball to be set just a little higher.
Stevenson. It was set higher, and this time Heredia Cologne tools the block.
If I'm her setter, I'm listening.
I think she's earned that capital.
Yeah.
Best point scorer in the country, calling her shot. Now she serves. Henke, same story. Off the outside hand and out. A great swing by Janne Henke off of Njai.
See, she comes in there and both blockers are up. It's usually just that outside hand that attackers try and go for.
Strong serve. Ace serve. 4-point lead as we switch sides. Well, Coach, we have remarked at multiple points about how well Miami has responded from falling behind in this match. They're going to have to do it again, but if I may for a moment, as we look on at Florida State, who's clearly fired up, how about the response for the Noles? They couldn't do much of anything right in the fourth, and they just raced out of the gates to a 4-point lead in this fifth set, winner take all.
And that's what's so unique about volleyball is the momentum can just change very quickly. It looks like Miami's decided to take time out here.
So the Canes will discuss things, trailing by 4, midway through the fifth. And they will be directly in front of this lock. The Seminole sound, who we have heard pump through our ears, they do a great job. Our ears will be ringing for a while, so will everybody who's been in the gym. That's the point at your home floor, and Florida State has given them plenty of reason to be loud and proud. As we take a look at the hit percentage by set, Miami was in the negative in the first. Florida State, their best offensive set yet was the first at 269. Miami authoritative in response, hitting above 400 to Florida State sub 1. Then in the third set, a huge tidal wave, a momentum shift by Florida State, trailing by as many as 7. Then out hitting the Canes 205 to 176. Miami never let the Noles into the fourth, hitting 500 as a team. And now Florida State hitting 500 as a team in the fifth.
You know, you're coaching people, and you're never quite sure how it's going to turn out or what they're going to do. But really, we've seen some excellent plays, phenomenal hitting, some superb blocks. And two great coaches as well.
4-point lead. And Henke will serve. Oh, you knew exactly where that ball was going to go.
She looks like
Heredia Cologne,
she's
my
going to hurt somebody. Just a really solid rip out of the back row. Again, it's a very short set.
One away from 30 kills. She had 42 on Wednesday. Stevenson bumps it in front of the stands. And on cleanup duty, there's Njai.
Just too tight to the net. Can't really make a play on that. Philomelo's got to try and make a save. You want to just make sure your hitters can take a swing at it without getting in the net.
Feliciano serves again. Philomelos. Heredia Cologne just pummeled that ball from the back row. Miami wins the point. Chris Poole calls timeout.
She's just getting warmed up right now, I think.
30 kills for Flor Marie Heredia Cologne.
And all of them have been impressive. You know, it's not like there's anyone that was easy. So this is just a short set to the back row attack and just hit it with authority.
And there she is. 30 kills for Flor Marie. Coach Gondra has told us that Miami's phone has been ringing off the hook. A lot of pro teams here in the United States have been reaching out to see if they can get her services once she graduates. Major League Volleyball's draft will be in just a couple of weeks' time. We'll see how that all shakes out. Of course, League One also in the United States. He mentioned Europe might be a possibility. There's a lot of possibilities for this talent. My goodness.
I think she's in the driver's seat there.
For sure.
But really, really ready to go to the next level, as are several players.
And as she has evolved, he said, you know, there wasn't a magic moment. There wasn't one single bit of time where she just flipped the switch and became who you see today, but gradually she's gotten more comfortable, and she's gotten to the point where she enjoys the pressure of everybody relying on her. She enjoys what that feels like when she feels she might have to carry the rest of her team, and she enjoys the fifth set when everything means so much and every mistake can be oh so critical. She has been at the heart of this 3-0 run for the Canes, who have trailed by as many as 4. And it's been all Miami since we've switched sides. Feliciano serves. Good cover by Yamamoto. Njai stumbled on the approach, but is able to tool the block.
I think that's the best approach I've seen her take. She's off the net a little bit, but she's able to, again, score off those hands.
4-0 run for the Canes, and we're tied at 8. Overpass. Danilovic nearly put it down. Florida State had a play on it, but they couldn't manage it in 3 contacts.
And these are aggressive serves that she's got coming low and tight to the net.
And Chris Poole's going to call his second timeout right here. Neilani Feliciano, the senior from Plano, Texas, has gone on a massive service run to completely flip the script, the momentum, and now the scoreboard in the 5th.
And just on Wednesday, Florida State lost to Miami 10-15 in the 5th. So just really almost identical to the match they played on Wednesday.
And so Feliciano, who we haven't talked about a lot, will take a swig of the Powerade. We'll take a look at the stats between Miami and Florida State. 8 more kills for the Canes, who are hitting it cleaner. 13 more digs, 1 more block. Things starting to shift Miami's way, statistically speaking. But all of that looks great. However, it is still a 1-point 5th set.
I think Miami still has 2 timeouts, and both teams still have a challenge.
Miami has 1. Florida State has their full complement as they head back to the floor. Ever since the switch, Miami has reeled off 5 consecutive points. And Feliciano, just a smirk as she goes back in front of the Seminole sound.
It is loud, and she's
just
just
ready
smiling.
to serve again. It's another good serve. Florida State not with the first contact they would have wanted there. Oh, that's tight. Danilovic, what a smart shot.
You know the set's not really what she wants when she reaches up with her left hand, but lucky for her, she's able to find a hole. Again, Florida State's got somebody up right behind the block, but it goes past that defensive person.
Still Feliciano serving. And Henke is jammed up. And Philly Maua is dug up by Feliciano. And Flo Marie Heredia Colon goes to work offensively. Collision by the Noles. Philly Maua's up again. Off the Bick, Henke off the top of the triple block. Danilovic tips it over the top again.
She still wasn't happy with that set and had to use her left hand. Just need the ball a little bit off the net so she can swing at it.
Florida State led 8-4. And Miami has won each of the last 7.
Just taking a minute to make sure they wipe up the floor here where Philly Maua will hit the deck.
How about this service run by Neilani Feliciano? She targets Henke again. And this time, Florida State is able to crack the code. Philly Maua high into the block and out. The Noles side out, and they trail by 2. First to 15, win by 2 for the match. Russ will serve. Njai. Dug by Stevenson. Russ will set the out of system to Philly Maua, who recycles off the block. Second effort for Philly Maua. Oh my goodness. A thunderous kill by Heredia Cologne.
And that was the shortest set I've seen to the back row. She's already taken her first 1 or 2 steps on her approach, and she is on her way in just that last step. Just pops it.
31 kills for Heredia Cologne, and Njai holding her head. Every mistake you make could be the moment you let another team in. That is a tough break for her. She was trying to be aggressive and couldn't clear the tape. So is that glimmer of hope enough for Lily Nicholson and the Noles? And we say it often, service errors can be contagious. And for Florida State, that came at the worst possible time.
That's a critical time to serve that too deep.
Danilovic has quietly been the unsung hero for Miami today. Henke rolls from the back row. Heredia Cologne tools the block, and just like that, Miami arrives at match point. Winners on Wednesday, 15-10 in the 5th. They are a point away from equaling those efforts here in Tallahassee today. Noles are out of system. And that is it. For the first time since 2021, Miami sweeps Florida State and keeps the positive momentum churning.
And